I'm here to tell you that getting naked on your scale is basically a waste of time, and I mean it. The number that thing gives you every morning is only half of the story at best, and it is a boring half. I'll never forget how awful I felt when I would go to my postpartum visits and the doctor would put me on the scale, and I see the relief on my patients' faces when we tell them we're not going to weigh them. We use body composition instead. Because a lot of times your scale is lying to you, and body composition is a much better measurement of your health. The problem is most doctors are still using the old scale. To give you some context, I want to start talking about BMI first. It's literally a math problem from the 1800s. It's height and weight, and that is it. A Belgian astronomer made it up, not a physician, an astronomer, and it was meant to study population averages. It was never meant to tell an individual person whether they were healthy or not. And yet here we are almost 200 years later, and your doctor may still be using it to judge your health. Here's what BMI cannot tell the difference between a bodybuilder and someone who is obese, a 50-year-old woman with strong bones, lean muscle, and excellent metabolic health, and a 50-year-old woman who is, in clinical terms, skinny fat. And skinny fat is real. It's when you don't have any muscle, but you have more belly fat. You can have a normal BMI, look really good in clothes, but still have so little muscle and so much belly fat that your cardiometabolic risk is the same as someone who is significantly heavier. So sometimes the mirror lies, often the scale lies, and your BMI is never telling you the whole story. So what should we be measuring? Body composition. Body composition is the actual breakdown of what your body is made of. Muscle, fat, bone, and water. That is the story, not your weight. The composition of your weight is what matters. Because two people can weigh the exact same but be living in completely different bodies. Let's talk about muscle first, because muscle is literally one of the most underrated organs in your body. It can regulate your blood sugar, it runs your metabolism, it protects your bones, it keeps you upright when you're 80 years old, and it improves insulin sensitivity. It's also one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging that we have. Most of us think of building muscle to look good, but muscle is actually our armor. That looking good part, that's a nice bonus. It's a nice side effect. But if you're training only because you want to look a certain way in a swimsuit, you're massively underselling what muscle can do for you. And then there's the dreaded fat. Fat is not the enemy. We need fat. It regulates our hormones, protects our organs, fuels our brain, and it keeps you warm. Women especially need a healthy amount of body fat for hormone function and reproductive health. Being under fat is just as clinically bad for you as being over fat. And the question isn't only how much fat you have, it's where the fat lives. Subcutaneous fat, that stuff you can pinch on your arms and your hips, mostly minds its own business. Visceral fat, the stuff wrapped around your liver, your pancreas, and your heart, is the one trying to kill you. It drives inflammation. It drives insulin resistance. It drives fatty liver, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline. And that's the scary part. You can be really thin and have a ton of belly or visceral fat. The scale will not tell you. BMI will not tell you. Your genes will not tell you. The only way to know is to actually measure your body composition. So you're probably wondering, Dr. Wagner, how can I measure my body composition? There's a few options. The two you'll hear about the most are the DEXA and the InBody. DEXA is the gold standard. It's very low dose X-ray and extremely precise. It also gives you your bone density, which becomes critically important as we age. The downside, there's a little bit of radiation. It's small but real, so it's usually a periodic test, not a frequent one. InBody uses bioelectrical impedance. It's a tiny electrical current that passes through the body, and because muscle, fat, and water all conduct electricity differently, it can estimate your body composition in about 60 seconds. No radiation, no needles, your clothes stay on, and you stand on it like a scale, and it tells you the actual story your scale was hiding. InBody gives you total muscle mass, body fat percentage, an estimate of your visceral or belly fat, and body water balance. It also tells you segmental muscle distribution, meaning it tells you if your right side is keeping up with your left and if your legs are matching your arms. It also estimates your resting metabolic rate, and it gives you the real picture of your metabolic health. InBody is a tool we use at Wagner Integrative Health because we can repeat it often without exposing our patients to radiation, and we can actually track meaningful change over time. Here's how I think about using it. Get a baseline. Anyone starting a health journey at our clinic gets one at their first visit. And if you're making active lifestyle changes, training, dialing in on your nutrition, working on your hormones, we rescan about every 8 to 12 weeks. Once you're in maintenance, every 6 to 12 months is plenty. I've had patients come in convinced they're failing because the scale isn't moving. We run an InBody and find out they've lost 5 pounds of fat and gained 4 pounds of muscle. The scale was lying to them. Their body was actually transforming. And I've had the opposite too. Someone loses 15 pounds on a crash diet, comes in proud, and the scan shows that 10 of those pounds were muscle. They didn't get healthier, they got more fragile. The scale called it a win, the body knows it's a loss. And then there's the relief I see on patients' faces all the time. The athletic 45-year-old woman who's been told her whole life that her BMI says she's overweight. And on the InBody, we see that she has high muscle and low body fat. She was never overweight. She's built. The scale was wrong about her for 30 years. Those types of moments are some of the favorite parts of my work. I do have a disclaimer about the InBody. Bioimpedance is not perfect. Your results can shift based on your hydration, your menstrual cycle phase, your sodium intake, alcohol the night before, recent exercise. So you want to scan under similar conditions each time, same time of day, similar hydration, before training and not after. And your trends matter more than any single number. I always tell my patients the first time we get their InBody, don't even look at the first one because we want to see the next one after you've made some improvements. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Your weight, it's just a data point. It's not the story. Your story is your muscle, your bone, where your fat lives, and how well your body is actually functioning underneath the surface. We have to stop chasing a number that doesn't know us. We have to start building a body that we can do the things we want to do at 70 years old, like skiing, lifting grandkids, hiking the trail you haven't done yet, dancing at that wedding, and getting up off the floor without even thinking about it. That's the metric. Muscle is medicine, fat is necessary, and composition is the truth. That scale in your bathroom, it just might be lying to you. I'm Dr. Lynn Wagner, and this is The Wealthy Life.